Afternoon, everybody. I'm Heavenly Hedgehog. Welcome to the stream. I'm sorry if the audio is weird or echoey. I am currently Skyping from my phone. Oh, forgot to mute this. Sounds like the audio is fine. Welcome to my craft room, also known as the cat room, for an obvious reason. This is where the cats live. And there are the sad puppies. So, yeah, I would close this to try to get rid of that, but the cats broke the blinds, I think, and I can't get them to come down. Oh, kitties, you're the worst roommates ever. Seven, be good. Seven can see the white kitty, and she is very agitated about it. All right, so how are you guys doing this afternoon? I'm doing all right. Figured out how to get all set up here. That took a little bit. So sorry to start late. So today, I'm done with the Mozu wand. Well, not done. Emotionally, I'm done with the Mozu wand. I do still have to finish it up, but not today. Today, I am working on something I thought of that might make my cake purse easier to make. So if you don't know about my cake purse is something I made for my Portal Prom cosplay. Let's see, do I have the old version in here? So no, I don't have the good version in here. I do have the old one. Minus the cherry because I harvested it from my other purse. But this was my first cake purse. After this version, I think for this one I might have used taffeta or something like that. So for the next version, I used vinyl, something a little bit sturdier because the taffeta, it got a bit frayed on the end there and doesn't like water. Or it's satin, I'm not sure what it is. I picked it for the color. But yeah, so that's version 1. Now we're working on version 3. I don't know where to put this. Put this here. So first step is figuring out where I put my seam ripper. I've got like 3 of them floating around. And for some reason I could never find them. It should be in here. My seam ripper, ha! I found one! I found one. So be careful with your seam rippers. You can actually hurt yourself on them. It's no fun getting stabbed in the thumb with a seam ripper. So when you're working with vinyl, you can't fix mistakes. Same with leather. If you do make a mistake with your sewing, you gotta find a way to incorporate it because unlike normal fabrics, vinyl and leather don't heal. That hole that you put in it is always going to be there. So, unfortunately, I'm going to have to rip out a whole bunch of seams right now, but I don't particularly care because this is a prototype. This is not going to be going to anybody. It's going to be mine. So I can rethread those holes for detail lines, and that's what I'm going to do. What am I doing first? Yeah, let's redo this one. So yeah, if you missed the gigantic cosplay on Tuesday, Timber pretty much finished up her hat. She got about 95, 98% there. And I dropped my wand. Yeah, it's in 3 pieces now. It's fixable. It's still fixable. If that had been an actual prop for an actual cosplay that I was doing, oh, there would have been tears. There would have been so many tears. As it was, I got close, but managed not to cry on stream. So yay me. Yeah, it was right at the end too, the last couple of minutes. It just Excellent. And that was pretty much how Tuesday went for me. If you were here on Tuesday, you know that I was having some issues working on that wand. It just, Tuesday was not my day. And sometimes you have those days. If you have the luxury of being able to stop, stop. Let that day go on its way and try again another time. But if you were like me and you were in crunch time and you have a deadline, which my deadline was that evening, you got to push through it, but make sure you have someone there who can minimize the damage when something goes wrong. Damage control is what you need. Also, deep breaths, lots of deep breaths, and try to put something off until the next day because sometimes you just don't recover. Sometimes you recover from a bad start, but I know I'm the kind of person who just snowballs. And it was a big snowball. If you guys have any questions about cosplay in general or what I'm working on, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. And again, sorry about the crap lighting. Even if I could get these blinds down right now, for some reason this lamp isn't working, and I don't know why. Hopefully, it's not another Tuesday for me. I don't think I can take that this week. Oh, come on. There we go. So I'm just tearing out these seams here so that I can get all these pieces apart because I am trying a different way of putting it together. Because one thing that I do with this purse is I back it with foam so that it will hold its shape. Because it's a piece of cake. It needs to be upright. It can't smush. So I back it with foam. And what I've done up to now is I put in the foam after I've put everything together. And that is an enormous pain in the ass. I don't recommend going that route. So what I'm going to try this time is I'm going to take all these pieces apart. I'm going to go back in by hand and fill in these holes for detail lines because even if it is just my purse, if it turns out better, I'm going to use it. And I want it to look nice. And I don't want a bunch of holes in it. So we're going to fix that up, and then we're going to use barge cement and put in the foam now. And then after that, what I'm thinking of using is, if you look at your steering wheel in your car, there's a certain stitching around the edge. I am going to be attempting something like that stitching. So I'm going to put the foam in and then kind of fit all the pieces together and stitch along the outside. So the stitching will be more visible, but hopefully this will eliminate, there's a bit of a strain. I don't know if you guys can see it at all. When you fold it like that, there's strain, like the threads pull at the vinyl, and I just don't like the way that looks. Plus, like I said, trying to get the foam in when the purse is already assembled doesn't work. It's just fail. Lots of fail. So if this does work, if this method does work, it is going to be eliminating several steps that were not particularly efficient as far as constructing this purse goes. And you may wonder why I'm actually working on this right now. And that's because I am hoping to find a faster way to make them so I can sell them. I've got one person who is commissioning one right now. And I do get a lot of interest in these purses when I take it to conventions. And not just from Congoers. I do get a lot of people, just non-convention people who are like, oh man, that's awesome. So hopefully I'll manage it. I tried it about a year ago and then I gave up. but I think that this current idea might do it. It is so gloomy today. It says it's not supposed to rain, but I feel like it's going to, which we need because, in case you haven't heard, California is having an awful drought right now. But on the other hand, my dogs hate the rain, and they have accidents in the house when it rains. So, pros and cons. But we do really need the rain. I can clean up poops in the house. We just need that rain. Hi, Astrid. You staring at me? Yeah. So the one cat you guys haven't really seen so far is Astrid. She is giant and she is fluffy, and her fur mats like nobody's business. She doesn't like the dogs, so that's why she lives here in the craft room. She'll come out when we have the dogs crated or when we take them out. She gets to roam the house freely at night. And sometimes she'll just come out and just be like, I don't care. Yeah, your dogs, you're there, I'm not moving. Doesn't happen very often, and the dogs they get very confused when it does. Because typically she'll run and they'll chase her because they're dogs. And that's why she doesn't like them. Because she won't stop running. And that's why we have that baby gate there and the dogs can't come in. It's not to keep them away from the cat food. It's to keep Astrid from peeing all over the house because she's mad. Like I said, my cats are the worst roommates ever. Huh, honey? Yeah. You know you don't like the puppies, but I do. But she's been quite happy since she got this whole room to herself. I am not entirely certain if Chad is working or not. But hopefully it is. I'm looking at Chad on my Surface right now, and I'm streaming from my phone to my computer so that I've got XSplit running over there. Because we haven't had a chance to get a wireless card for an old computer to set up in here with an actual proper webcam. So, yay! But it works for now. If you guys are working on anything, let me know. I would love to know about what you're working on. I like to hear about your projects. Especially since I'm going to be ripping out seams for a while. This is going to be a 2-day at least Good Crafternoon. And then we'll see what we work on from there. That's right, I had a strap for this somewhere. My last purse, version 2 of my purse, I had to glue something to attach the straps onto the bottom of the purse because I realized the night we were packing, the night we were packing to leave for PAX, that I had forgotten to attach the strap. So I had to glue something on with a D-ring to attach the straps onto that. I'm hoping for this time to get something more along the lines of this, where it's actually attached in there. By the way, this little thing right here, this is what I attached my PAX badge onto, because it was my bag. I had it with me, and it was also my prop. So in order to keep it, hidden for pictures, I just harvested one of those clips from the lanyards you get at every single convention, and just attached it onto there. I did remove it to use on probably my other purse, but yeah. You're not limited to the lanyards to display your badges. For cosplay, I know it can be really frustrating when you've got a great picture and your badge is just hanging there, or you've got the big red stripe from your lanyard as you threw your badge behind you. So that's my solution to that. I hook my badge either onto a prop like that, or onto my costume on my shoulder or on my hip here, so that it's still visible, but I can just turn and hide it. Or in the case of my purse, I just held my purse like that, and the badge was on top of my hand under the purse. Because I've seen so many good cosplays, and then they've got the badge hanging down in the front, or they're walking around with their badge all wrapped around their wrist with the lanyard. And it's just like, there's a better way. But I've been too shy to tell anyone. Because I don't want to step on anyone's toes. They worked hard, and I don't want to be like, you're great, but... Yeah. Trying to get seams out of a lace is difficult because you can't get the lace. Tearing the lace would be very bad. So hopefully eventually I'd like to try making this purse out of leather, but I will admit that I'm kind of terrified of trying to use leather because, I don't know, it's so fancy. It's so fancy and I've never used it before. I think I'd like to take a leatherworking class first so that I know what to do with it. Because I know leather, you can wet mold it and do amazing things. If you ever check out God Save the Queen Fashions, I believe that's what she is. She is an amazing costumer who she does make costumes for a living. And she does a lot of stuff with leather. No vinyl for her. She only uses the good stuff. And the stuff she makes is so good. Like she leather wraps handles for swords for open props, and for Batman she made a whole utility belt all of leather. And I know that she's got a lot of stuff right now. She's been working on the movie version of Deadpool, and it's spectacular. She is absolutely spectacular. So again, that's God Save the Queen Fashions, and you should totally check her out. All right, we got the details out. Now to get the rest of it out. Like I said, I'm going to be ripping seams out for a while. But in the end, hopefully it'll all be worth it. Astrid, you're just watching me. You're just watching me. Astrid can be a bit of a creeper. Oh, honey. Oh, are you staring at the dogs over there? Is that what's going on? The dogs have settled down and are just sleeping next to the baby gate. She's watching them. Sometimes if they're really quiet, she'll forget they're home. And she'll come downstairs and just be like, ah! Yeah. Oh, Astrid. You've got a whole big room all to yourself now. Well, she does have to share it with Hiccup, but he sort of likes the dogs, so he'll come down a lot. Mostly he likes to get them in trouble by mewing and getting them all riled up, or going near Shanks's food or toys. Shanks is very possessive of his food or toys, and will guard them from Hiccup. He won't guard them from Seven, he won't guard them from us, just from Hiccup. Who, if you remember Hiccup, where are you, bud? He's the black kitty on the chair over there. And on the other hand, whenever Hiccup gets in trouble, the dogs know his name. And they know that when I call his name, it means he's done something bad. And so they go and try to act like my little enforcers. Which is not necessarily appreciated. Because then they corner him, and then it's loud, and then I have to go break them up. They don't try to hurt him at all. They get him cornered, and they're like, oh, now what? Now what do we do? I guess you're there. We're going to keep you there. Okay. But other times they'll get along okay. Seven will clean Hiccup's ears. Shanks will not bark at him sometimes. And Hiccup will play with Seven by swatting at her tail. because he is nearly blind and the tip of her tail is white. So he can see that, especially when it's wagging. And all of the pets are equally helpful with cosplay, let me tell you. They all love to sit on my materials and get them covered in fur. Although at least the dogs don't puke on anything like the cats do. Those cats. Always puking. Always puking. Although we do have them on a new food, so they're puking less. That's an improvement. Seam ripping takes so long. It looks like I did a double seam down this one to reinforce it. Why did I do that? I thought it was a good idea at the time, I'm sure. But now it is just a pain in my ass. Let's see, what's been going on lately? Oh, it's Friday! There's a new gate today! Oh my goodness. I have to wait till Sky gets home to watch it. I can't wait. I like it. I like it a lot. Yesterday I started watching Grimgar. I think that's the name, on Hulu. It's a fantasy one where a group of people wake up and they don't remember where they are or where they're from or anything really about their lives other than their name, I guess. And they're now in a fantasy world and forced to, you know, pick classes, party up, and go kill monsters. I like it. It's slow. If you want a lot of action, like the fighting isn't really the point of the series. It's more the interactions between the characters and how they deal with the situation with having basically complete amnesia and being forced to just start, you know, fighting. But it's nice, like the backgrounds are all beautifully done, kind of watercolory. And I like the voice acting too. Although there is one of those characters that just pisses me off. The shy girl who talks real quiet and oh, she couldn't possibly do anything, no. And she can't look a boy in the eye because she's just too shy. And I'm like, oh, I hate you so much. Grow a spine. So she's really the only issue I have with it. Hulu has a lot of anime right now, actually. I just need to find the time to start watching more of it. Oh, that's right. I also have an episode of Assassination Classroom to watch. Yay! Can't wait to do that. By the way, if anyone follows me or has followed me and I've missed it, thank you so much. Again, I'm not actually on my computer. I don't have access to my Twitch alerts right now. So, sorry and thank you. There. Let's see, so tonight, it's another Friday Night Hedgehog Hangout, and we are going to be playing some more Gigantic because it's fun, and I like it. If you want to join me and you're currently in the beta, let me know. You can message me here or on Twitter. Yeah. The more the merrier, right? And I know if you check out The gigantic streams, a lot of people have beta keys, and Gigantic does have their own Twitter, or their own Twitter and their own Twitch, where they're pretty much constantly giving out keys whenever they're streaming. And they do stream pretty regularly. You can probably ask on Twitter too. They have been expanding the beta lately. Oh, it has lots of holes in there. All right, yeah, you see here? All those little perforations. That's why you typically can't redo anything that you mess up in vinyl. Same with leather, it's going to show the holes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in by hand and fill in these seam lines to cover it up so that it's still got that detail, and I don't just have a bunch of holes. Assuming I can get this last chunk out. All right. Next seam. At least it's only a triangle and it's not a square, right? Right? Yeah. There we go. There we go. So do you guys have any pets who help you out with your cosplay projects? Like mine do? Shanks likes to throw his ball at me whenever I'm cutting stuff down in the living room. Because he is a fetchaholic. He cannot stop playing fetch. And it's adorable until about the 20th time in a row. And then you're just like, no, I'm doing something. And then if you don't take the ball away and put it way up high, because he's a little guy, but he'll just sit there and he'll jump at it, if you don't put it away, then he's just gonna get more insistent and start throwing the ball at you. And little Seven helps me out by just walking over everything. She has zero awareness that I do not want her to walk on something. And she just goes, what? This? Step, 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 step. And if you try to remove her, like, I push her out of the way, and she's like, oh, you want kisses? No. You're adorable, but no. I don't want kisses right now. And then Hiccup will sleep on anything that we don't cover up. So that's what he does. He's a cat. And Astrid helps out by getting white fur all over my craft room. That's her contribution. She looks pretty happy right now, though. Let's see if I can show you guys Astrid. Let's see. There she is. That's Astrid, the great white cat. She is fat and she is fluffy. Yep, I said it, you're fat. You know it. She's a fat cat. Hi there, kitty kitty snake Chloe. How are you doing this afternoon? Did you like my kitty? Yeah. She is so fat. She is such a fat cat. I tried switching her to a low-calorie food and she just puked it up everywhere. So, well, I think that's just the way she is now. Hiccup stays pretty trim though. He's a very active little guy. But Astrid, she is a cat's cat. She sleeps all the time. All the time. All right. Let me angle this a little bit more. Better? Did this freeze? Did this freeze? Did it? What happened here? Oh, I wonder if my computer went to sleep. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. My computer fell asleep and so everything froze. I'm back. Right. Well, that did change, so. Where did I put my seam ripper? Damn it. This is what I do. I lose everything. I think I left it in my computer room. I'll be right back again. I was right. I left it by my mouse. That happened. Where was I? All right. Ripping out seams. If you do start sewing, if you don't sew yet, when you start, make sure you get one of these. You don't want to be trying to tear seams open with an X-Acto knife or scissors. That's not going to work well. Get a seam ripper. Most sewing machines will come with one. If you happen to get a new sewing machine. That's how I've ended up with like 3 different ones. And like I said, I can't find 2 of them. I don't know where they went. I can think of a few places where they might be, but I don't know for sure. Ugh. There we go. Just make sure you're aware of where your fingers are and the path of the seam ripper at all times. Like I said, it's no fun when you get a seam ripper sticking out of your thumb. I've done it. I don't recommend it. It hurts. There we go. These little threads do not want to come out. All right, another seam done. On to the next one. A fun fact about my kitty Astrid, she has 2 different color eyes. One is kind of a hazel green, and the other one is bright blue. You can really tell best in the sunlight. It's hard to tell sometimes in low light. All right, let's see. So kitty snake Chloe. So I started watching not long ago when you said, do you have any pets that help with cosplays? Well, I have a dog called Zeus. He's only a puppy, but he loves to destroy things. If I had anything on the floor like a jacket, he would grab it, shake it, and chew it till it's got a lot of holes and teeth marks. Oh, man. Well, Zeus sounds adorable. What kind of dog is he? Um, and yes, that's another risk of having pets and cosplay. Over on Gigantic Cosplay, Timber, my partner in crime over there, her dog ate all of her talons from her Zenobia costume. So definitely know your pets. Just like how I have to cover everything up because I know my cat's going to sleep on it. If your dog likes to chew, and especially if they're a puppy, you're going to have to take some extra care to put everything away. We've had to do that lately because my dogs have become table surfers. Pretty much we eat every meal at the coffee table, and if we leave any food there or anything that used to have food on it, they find it and they get it and they destroy it. But it's such a puppy thing to do. They just want to play. They said, oh, this was yours. This was yours and you were interested in it. Now I'm interested in it too. Let's play. And that is puppies all over. By the way, I am such a crazy dog mom. I am all about puppies. And even if they're 12, they're still puppies. Come on. They're still your puppy. So thank you so much, Kitty, for telling me about your puppy Thor. Or Zeus. I'm so sorry. It's Zeus. It's Zeus. He sounds adorable. Anybody else out there have pets who like to help them out? Help. There's some definition of help. Oh, I really wish I could fix this lighting. I'm so sorry, you guys. But yeah, the kitty. You may want to invest in some bins. Storage bins, you can get any like Target, any store like that. Or make some space in your closet so that you can put away everything that you don't want your dog to get. I have everything in bins like this that I can cart around easily so that I can put stuff away real quick. Oh, I've got a laser pointer in here too. Jacob, you want to play? Where did Jacob go? Oh, he's over there now. No, it's kitty nap time now. They're not going to play. They're not going to play. Of course, kitty nap time is most of the day. And sorry again about the sniffling. The allergies persist. It doesn't help that my husband was airing out the cat room, so now all that pollen is in here. And my nose is probably going to try to murder me soon, because it's been making attempts pretty regularly over the last week or so. Oh, come now. There we go. Almost. Zeus is a staffy. We got him at 7 months old, but before we got Zeus, we had a cat named Meow. Oh, that's cute. She loved to lie on everything. Her main thing was to lie on my bed, so whenever I left my door open, she hopes to find a worm, hops on, finds a worm patch, and sleeps on it. And then when I come home, she took over the bed, and I had to sit on the floor. A tortoiseshell cat, so mystical with the colors. Oh, she sounds so sweet. She just wants to take over your bed. That's kitties. Of course, that's puppies too. But 7-month-old, he's a staffy. He sounds so cute. A friend of mine has a staffy, and she's got so much personality. So much. But yeah, they can be heavy chewers. I know that. It sounds like Meow was a lucky kitty to have you for a person, willing to let her take the bed. My pets are not so lucky. I move them. I'm like, no, I get to cuddle. You can sleep on the bed if you want to cuddle with me, but if you don't want to cuddle, then you have to move. All right, that one went a little faster. Yay. I've got like this whole pile of thread here now. You probably can't see it. It helps to keep a trash can handy. My trash can is over there though because it's filled with loose litter that I had to sweep up before I started. Because kitties, yeah. By the way, you guys, remember if you... Seven shakes! Seven shakes, be careful. I'll be right back. What are you doing? Sit. Good girl. Sorry, guys. There was some guy trying to sell stuff at the door and he was not leaving. Ugh. I wouldn't even have opened the door if you didn't hear me talking to the dogs. Babies! Now he's bugging the neighbors. Poor puppies. By the way, my dogs are corgi mixes. They do bark. Yeah, we're trying to deal with it. They bark a lot. My girl is smart enough that she doesn't forget things quickly. Oh, my nose. I haven't had a deep breath in weeks. At least not through my nose. Puppies, you good babies now? Yeah? There we go. There's a good puppy. I would let them in to keep them close, but I can't because Astrid will not take me to it. If I ever go outside with shoes on, Zeus attacks me, and when I come inside, Zeus Fall is ready to take my shoes the second I get them off. Oh, it sounds like you need to teach Zeus, leave it. Leave it is super handy. But I get it with the shoes. We have to keep our shoes in a closet so our dogs don't chew on them because they have separation anxiety, and if we leave them alone too long, they decide to occupy themselves. And a lot of times, that involves a shoe. But he sounds like such a puppy. Such a puppy. you haven't done any dog training with Zeus yet, I highly recommend a class. They'll help you out a lot, and they can always help with specific questions like how to get him to stop attacking your feet when you're outside. Like I said, I'm a crazy dog mom. Crazy dog mom. But yeah, don't underestimate the value of training. It can help out a ton, especially for willful dogs like Staffies. It helps to make them work a little bit. Oh, come down. Looks like I went over this side 3 times. Ugh, I was an idiot. I was such an idiot. Come on. I thought I was being so clever at the time. I really did. I'm sure I did. I don't remember. You feeling better now, puppies? Did that guy go away? When I went down, I thought they were just barking at the neighbors because they do that whenever someone talks outside the door. But no, it was some guy trying to sell stuff. So puppies, you did your job. You let me know someone was there. Thank you. Good puppies. Oh my gosh, look at this. There's like this huge knot in there. I don't even know what I did. Seriously. What is all this? Hiccup, are you chewing on your cat treat? 7, are you growling at Hiccup because he's chewing on his cat treat? You don't have to do that. She really thinks she has to do that. Alright. Nope, not alright. Why will this not? There we go. There we go. Finally got that piece free. Ah, why did I throw that there? I don't want to throw that there. Okay. All right. That's 2 seams taken out now. 1 to go. Oh, my nose. Ah. I swear, I'm never going to stop sniffling. So kitty snake Chloe says, I'm a crazy cat lady. I see a cat, I just have to stroke it. If I'm not near a cat, I look at cats and talk about them. Most of the time, my friends talk about cats just to try to make me shut up, but it never works until the moment they start to talk about spiders. Spiders are pretty awful. Spiders are definitely pretty awful. I get that they're necessary to the whole food chain thing and they keep pests under control, but can't they be cuter? Couldn't spiders be something cuter? But yes, I'm the crazy dog lady. I'm like, oh, you have a dog? What kind? How old are they? Did you do training? What can they do? What tricks do they know? Do they get into stuff a lot? Yeah, I ask a lot of questions about people's dogs. I see a dog, I'm like, I have to say hi. But of course, I don't force myself. If the dog doesn't want to say hi, okay. No big deal. Sorry, kitties. I'm a dog person. I am. What's Hiccup doing? I don't know what he's doing, but I hear him moving around and he's bothering Astrid. Yeah, my husband has tried to convince me that pink-toed tarantulas are cute because he had one when he was a kid. He's like, no, no spiders, no spiders. When I was a kid, I woke up one morning and it was a daddy long legs, but at the time it was like, there's a spider this close to my face. And it felt like it was as big as my hand, which I was little, so maybe it was as big as my hand then, but it felt like the hugest spider in the entire world. And yeah, I can't handle spiders since then. It was too close and too sudden. My little brother was my hero, and he came running in with a shoe and smashed it. Of course, then it fell off the wall, and we never found it again, so yay! Because, of course, the minute I realized there was a spider like 6 inches from my face, I started screaming. I'm such a baby like that. I think I'm getting faster at this again. I've gotten the rhythm. I found the rhythm. And I haven't stabbed myself yet. Bonus. All right. Okay, one more, or one down, 3, 2 to go. 2 more to go. I know my numbers. I'm so good at numbers. Oh, Astrid, what you doing? What you doing? She is so fat. She jumps down 1 foot and she's just like, ugh. Give me a second. Okay, now I can move. You're just the fattest cat. There's really nothing we can do about it. We can't give her less food because then she starts getting the dogs riled up and she'll go pee somewhere. We tried the low-calorie food and she just puked it all up. You're just doomed to be fat. You will always be a fat cat. I don't care what the vet says. There's just nothing we can do about it. So Kitty Snake Chloe says, I have had the horrible moment with spiders when I was about 5. I woke up in the morning about 7 a.m. and went down to get breakfast. I got some cereal, I got a bowl, and did the usual, except there was a mama spider in it. I screamed out loud and would never forget that the spider was the size of the bowl. After that, I didn't eat cereal. I ate toast for a month. Oh, that would be traumatizing. In your bowl. I have this irrational fear of finding a spider in my tea kettle. But, oh yeah, that would put me off cereal forever. That might put me off bowls for a while too. Oh, that is traumatizing, Kitty. I just can't. I really. Oh. Spiders. spiders. I'm sorry. I just can't. I just can't handle spiders. Oh, spider in your bowl. I'm gonna be going like that for the rest of the day. It's a good thing I don't eat cereal now. That might put me off cereal for a little while just thinking about it. I am more of a toast person. All right, I am ready to be done tearing out seams now. I don't know about you guys, but this is tedious. Come on. Come on. There we go. All right. By the way, I'm sorry if I missed anything, you guys. I am kind of jerry-rigged right now. I've got my phone streaming or Skyping to my computer where my streaming program is, and I have chat pulled up on my Surface. So again, sorry if I miss anything. I'm doing my best. All right, one left. Just one more. Oh no, this is one of the ones that I did 3 times. Damn it. Why? Why, past self? Why did you do this? Again, I haven't worked on this for like a year. I don't even remember why I did this. Probably thought I was being all smart reinforcing the seams so they wouldn't tear. But no, worst idea ever. Man, it's already 2. Wow. Time flies. I got both cats are curled up together in a chair right now. And the blanket I put down to protect the chair is no longer protecting the chair. That's awesome. I think my dogs might be asleep on the stairs. Because they can keep an eye on everything from there. I got a text. Ah, darn it. My husband is on a mission to find the new Fire Emblem game today, and apparently Target was a bust. No. That is a bummer. But if we don't get it today, no, we'll get it eventually. Oh my god. Look at this. My machine apparently went crazy right there. I'll have to text him later because, again, my phone is my camera right now. Are any of you guys getting the new Fire Emblem game? Or games, as it were? And I'm pretty excited about it. Unfortunately, I never finished the previous Fire Emblem because I can't find the game anymore. It used to be in my DS, and then it was in the little thing we have for all the games, and now we can't find the thing we have for all of our games. So that was a sad discovery for our last packs. It was just like, oh, but I wanted to finish that. I do know how it ends. Sky finished it, so he told me, but I didn't get to finish it myself. This is not a one-time occurrence for me. Chrono Cross was another game. If you haven't played Chrono Cross, it's old. That's an old game. Like 15 years old almost, I think. But yeah, I was on the second to last boss in Chrono Cross. I know this because my best friend also had Chrono Cross and she did finish it. I was on the second to last boss and I couldn't beat it. And then somehow lost the memory card that had all the progress from not only Chrono Cross, but also Final Fantasy 7 and 8, which we still hadn't finished. Yeah. So losing games and memory cards before I can finish a game I really like is kind of one of the stories of my life. It is a regular occurrence for me. Oh, I almost cut the wrong thread. That would have sucked. All right, I'm going to have to go to the other side. That one is just a knotted mess. So do you guys see the big announcement? Apparently Twitch is going to be the TwitchCon is going to be in San Diego this year, which I'm sad about because when it was in San Francisco last year, that's just like, oh, that's just a BART ride away. BART is our kind of public transportation system, if you don't know. I'm just like, oh, I'll just take BART in and go to TwitchCon. It was wonderful, and now it's not here anymore. So I don't know if we're going to go again this year because now we have to travel and it's a month after PAX Prime, which we're going to go to one way or another. PAX Prime, which I guess it's going to be West this year, no longer Prime. That's like our one big convention of the year. We go every year and it's awesome and huge and there's so much cosplay and so many games. So I really want to go again this year. How about you guys? Do you have like the one big convention you go to every year, or do you go to a whole bunch of different ones? Or have you never been to a convention before? Let me know that too. I used to go to Anime Expo a lot when I was younger. And now we pretty much do Prime. Although we did go to South this year, and we also went to TwitchCon, which was cool. It was neat going to a couple of smaller, more laid-back conventions, because my main convention experience has been big ones. Anime Expo and Prime are both pretty big. Not as big as Comic-Con, which I have not been to, but they're pretty sizable conventions. They can get pretty hectic. So it was nice going to something a bit more chill. Like, they didn't have the big developers there, but there were a lot of great indie games. I am nearly done with this scene. Nearly done. You write those life stories, kitty kitty. I hope you end up with more good ones than bad ones. Okay, you're nearly there. I've gotten both ends, now I have to get that middle chunk where the big knot is. Where my sewing machine apparently went insane and decided to dump all of the thread ever. And that just means that I didn't have my tension set right, or the thickness of the materials I was pushing through was too much. It happens. Ugh. One tip I have for sewing machines, keep and read the manuals. Oftentimes they'll have a section of troubleshooting, where it's like, oh, Oh, my thread is kind of wonky. What do I do about it? I'll have solutions for that. So hold on to your sewing machine manuals. That will come in handy. And if you sew everything by hand, mad props to you, because I can't do that. I do not have the patience or the consistency in my stitches to be able to sew stuff by hand all the time. Plus, that's hard. It's time consuming and your hand gets all crampy. Oh, man. Oh, come on. All right, I'm gonna have to come through the middle. Of course, now I'm in the lace again, and so I have to try to do this without cutting the lace. Oh, there we go. So Kitty Kitty says, sometimes I think I am typing a little bit, but I'm actually typing a lot, and all of them form together to make one big book with a title I would call Kitty Should Never Be Trusted to Use Anything. I have too many accidents. I am with you there, Kitty Kitty. I am a walking disaster. Case in point, I broke the last prop I was working on this last Tuesday. Yep, just dropped it. I am not as careful as I should be, so I get it, Kitty Kitty. I get it. You just do your best. Why did I pick a thread that is so closely matched to the color? Because I had to. One of the worst things ever is trying to pick black thread out of black fabric. That takes a while. Ow! There you go. Be aware, like I said before, be aware of where your seam ripper is. You can stab yourself with it. Luckily, I did not make myself bleed, which I've done before. All right. Oh, my nose. Ha! Ha ha ha. Success. All right. Of course, now things get even more tedious. All right. Alrighty, there we go. Got all of our different pieces. This is my zipper right here. Yeah. Now I go in with my hand sewing to try to fill in these perforations right here where I had a seam detail which is no longer there, and I don't want to go back in with my machine because it's not going to line up properly with those holes. So, yes, this is just a prototype, but I might end up using it. So, I am still going to take the time to do this. Where are you? Of course, the trick is figuring out which of these nearly identical threads I use. Why do I have, look at this. Look how close those are. I'm sorry to keep you from working on stuff, kitty, but thank you for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. All right. Which thread was this? I think this was the light one. I think it was. This one might be a better thread anyway. No, maybe. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. In fact, none of these might have been the right thread because I've got another one in this like brown, this beige brown. Why do I have so many threads? I think this might be the color. Maybe. This one is too pink. This one's too pink. This one's too dark. This one is also too dark. By the way, look at all my thread. Yeah. It's all right, kitty. I'm sure that when you need to, you know how to buckle down and focus on something. So don't worry too much about getting distracted when it doesn't quite matter, which hopefully it doesn't right now. If it does, I'm so sorry. All right, I think that we've got it here. I think this is the right one. I hope. What's this weight? 30? Okay, it looks like they all be the same weights. One thing to make sure of is if you don't have a quilting machine, don't use quilting thread. Quilting thread is a lot thicker than normal thread, and it can mess up your machine a little bit because it's going to screw with the tension and like the bobbin area and the gears. Like it's not meant for that thicker thread necessarily. So don't get quilting thread because it's cheap and put it in your machine. All right, what am I doing first? Well, I don't need this much thread. Oh. Scissors are right next to me. By the way, where did I put my scraper? Back in the bin. This is why I try to have my bins, because otherwise stuff ends up everywhere. Unfortunately, I am also easily distracted and don't necessarily put things back where they should go when I'm done using them. My advice, be more organized than me. Okay. How to do this? That's pretty close. Okay. Kitty says, I'm a fast drawer. I just finished all my outlines now. All I have to do is the miniature designs. So all my lost time has just come back. I'm not where I should have been. I am now where I should have been not long ago. Well, good for you, Kitty Kitty. I am glad you're speedy. So what I'm doing now is basically emulating a sewing machine stitch. I've got one thread coming along the back, and the other thread is looping around it and filling in these holes. Now this is a huge pain in the ass to do. And this is why I recommend doing things right the first time when you work with vinyl. Oh, well, good for you. I know I am pretty slow when it comes to drawing and stuff like that. Of course, it also could be because I'm out of practice. Ow! Screw you, needle. So the thing I need to be careful of now is making sure I don't put in any new holes, because that would suck. Maybe there's a better way to do this. I don't know it though. But it's not going too slow, luckily, because I only have 1 or 2 layers of vinyl to go through. Here, can you see that? I'm just filling in that seam line right there. My foot is going to be asleep when I try to stand up again. I know it. I can never seem to sit in a chair normally for a long period of time. Oh, my head's open. Let's see, so what else is going on? So Fire Emblem is coming out, it came out today. Hopefully we managed to get a copy of it. If not, then I guess we'll wait and play it when we do, which hopefully won't be too long. I am going to be streaming Gigantic tonight. You can sign up for the beta at gogigantic.com, and I know that a lot of streamers and Gigantic staff themselves are often giving away keys, so you can go check them out, try to get one. If you want to play with me tonight, let me know. I would love to have you in my squad. And don't worry if you haven't played before or if this is going to be your first time. You are more than welcome to come play with me. All right, let's get this through here. Everybody has to start somewhere, and I am not that fabulous myself, so nothing to worry about. I'm getting the hang of this again. Man, it's 2:30 already. I'll probably be streaming until about 3 o'clock. And again, I'll be back at 7 tonight. By the way, Kitty, I forgot to ask, what are you working on? It sounds like schoolwork or something, right? Oh, come on, where did this hole go? Ah. We have made it to the end of this one bit. All right, clearly I had too much thread. I've got like 8 inches at least on either end of this. My scissors are exactly where I put them, in the bin. So if you can see that there, I just got that seam filled in again, so it's not just holes, it actually looks like a detail, which is exactly what I wanted. Oh man, it's late for you now, 10:30? Well, I'm glad you got a bunch of stuff worked on, Kitty. A bunch of stuff worked on? That wasn't even a sentence. Wow, I'm glad you got a bunch of stuff done. All right. I may be in need of a snack. Okay, next bit. And that's cool, doing a project with your friends. That's always fun. It's nice to work on things together. A little company. Nope, too far over. There we go. And once again, way too much thread on my end. Oh well. Doesn't matter as long as I don't run out. I always end up buying way too much thread because when I need a specific color, I typically will get 2 of them. 2 spools that I don't end up on like 2 days before a convention, no time to run to the fabric store, and I run out of pink. I'm just like, no! So yeah, I always buy a lot of extra thread so that I can avoid that situation. Then I also inherited a whole bunch of silk threads, which I have not yet found a use for. I'm a little bit too afraid to use them. I assume they would be good for like embroidery or something, but that's a lot more detail oriented than I have a mind to tackle right now. There we go. So the key thing here is to make sure your back thread stays taut. So so that it doesn't pull through the front, so that you get those nice stitches, the individual stitches, as opposed to one thread just lying across the front with a bunch of little loops in it. You have 3 more picks to do of animals like squirrels and birds, and after you have to do that for after your friends do the leaves and stuff. All right, sounds like you're in a good spot then. I hope your friends get their stuff done quickly. By the way, one day I will figure out how to get the chat to show on the stream, but that day is not today, so that's why I'm going to keep reading stuff out as I respond to it. As far as I've been able to come up with, it's kind of the best way to make sure that anyone who can't see the chat knows what it is I'm responding to. No! The thread came out of the needle. There we go. Oh, where did this thread come from? I've lost the hole. Ha! Found it. I think that we are almost caught up on iZombie Season 1 now. We've been binge watching it like 2 or 3 episodes a night. And I'll probably keep watching it up until it turns into a shambling zombie horde, because I can't handle those kinds of zombies. One of the reasons I resisted watching it for so long is because I just don't handle zombies well. The first 5 minutes of Zombieland were so upsetting to me. I couldn't handle it. But so far, not so much shambling. Although it does seem that these are going to be fast zombies and not shambly zombies. I think we've seen one that was close to a shambler, but yeah, fast zombies are scary too. Granted, fast zombies shouldn't be fast. If you're dead, you shouldn't be able to move quickly. That's my personal opinion on that matter. Yeah, I had nightmares for a month after Zombieland. I'm just too sensitive, you guys. All right. We're getting there on the second scene. Luckily, with these dark ones, well, I'm gonna have to think about it, because I think that it would be just fine if I went over these ones with the machine for the details, because the lace hides the perforations pretty well. But I'm gonna think about it before I decide. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Kitty Snake Chloe. It was wonderful having you here. Thanks for talking to me, and thanks for telling me about your puppy Zeus. Yeah, you go get some sleep. I know it's late, and I will be back again tonight. Well, I guess it'll be really late for you then. But I'll be back also on Sunday at 6 o'clock for Cosplay Hunt, where we look at games and figure out how to cosplay them. Monday at 7 for Because It's Pretty, where I play games that are pretty but don't fit into Cosplay Hunt. And on Tuesday, I'll be back for another Good Crafternoon, same time, 1 o'clock. But yeah, it's been great having you in the stream. Hope you have a good evening. And yeah, I would say have a good crafternoon, but it's nighttime for you. Good crafter evening. Puppies. Can you hear them? Because they are playing downstairs. A little banshee. When we first got those puppies, every time they played, I thought that they were fighting. Because we got Seven first, and about 2 months later, we got Shanks because we could not keep up with Seven's play. She's border collie corgi. She's a lot of herding dogs, so she's got energy. And we just couldn't keep up with how much she wanted to play. So we got her a puppy friend, and that's little Shanks. And I couldn't tell at first when they were playing and when they were fighting. But of course, the very first actual fight was like, oh yeah, that's obvious. That's obviously a fight. Yeah, that's just been played so far. And it doesn't happen often, and now that they're older, they know it's mostly a dominance thing. Someone gets a little too rough. Typically, Shanks gets too rough, Seven puts him down, and then they stand there for a second, and they shake it off and just walk away and go get some food. But when they were puppies, they didn't know how to stop. But yes, I assure you, my puppies are playing. They're not fighting when you hear all those sounds. The cats, on the other hand, they fight. They don't play together. They'll cuddle together, but they won't play. All right. I got the second one down now. So I just have to fill in this bit in the middle here. Which was a pain in the butt to do with the machine because it's so little right there. So I'm just going to do that by hand. And I'm not going to lose my needle. Always make sure you're aware of your needles. It can help to have a pin cushion or a magnet because you don't want to step on it. And if you have pets or a small child in the house, you don't want them to find it and eat it. So always be careful, and if you do lose a needle, find it. Very carefully, but do find it. I have found a needle lodged in my pants, like just in my jeans before, where it fell and somehow got wedged into it, like pushed through the fabric, but didn't touch my skin, so I didn't know it was there. But yeah, you don't want to deal with a pet or a child eating a needle. That's just, oh, that would be traumatizing. I don't want you guys to go through that. I don't want to go through that, my goodness. Look at all this extra thread. Too much. I am being wasteful. Get my needle again. We are having a magnet around. I don't have a magnet around, but I wish I do. Is also handy for when you accidentally dump your box of pins on the ground, which I do on a fairly regular basis. So I should have a magnet, I just don't. Yeah, that's always a sad moment when I'm doing something and then just all of a sudden pins everywhere. And not all of them have that bright, colorful head. But yeah, not this big, but it helps to have a pin that has that colored head on it so you can find it when you drop it. But if you do get the cheap ones, those heads can come off and then, well, it's a useless pin. Well, not useless. You can still use the stick stuff, but it's likely to just get pushed all the way through. All right, let's do this. I got way too much thread again. I thought I was getting less, but I think I got exactly the same amount. One of my many, many useless superpowers is that I cannot estimate. Whether it's length or distance or time or weight, I cannot estimate to save my life. So there I was thinking I got less thread this time and I got the same amount of thread. Yeah, that's just me. Another useless superpower, scaring people at work without meaning to because I accidentally sneak up on them. Do you guys have a useless superpower? I'd love to hear about it, just so I know I'm not alone. Oh, my foot is falling asleep. I'm going to be doing this for a while. Yeah, I think I'm going to end up going over this for the detail lines with the machine because this is slow. This is really slow. And if I don't have to do this on every single piece, then I'm not going to. But unfortunately, it's easier to fill in the dark bits on here with my hand. And I just can't go over the light bits with the machine because there's no lace there to help hide the perforations. And also, it's light. It's going to show them even if there was lace there. No. If you guys do ever make a bag or like belt pouches or a purse or something for your cosplay, I definitely recommend using something sturdy, like upholstery materials, vinyls, leather, because your bag is going to go through a lot. It's going to go through a lot of wear and tear. And unless you're doing something like just a little simple drawstring bag and you need it to be like satin because maybe you have like whatever you're cosplaying is a little bit fancy and just needs a little simple satin bag or something, go with something sturdy so that you don't have to remake it again next time. Because like satin and taffeta, they don't take well to wear and tear, and they don't take well to cleaning. Water will stain them. What did I just do? I just put the needle on the wrong thread. So definitely keep in mind how much wear and tear whatever you're making has to go through, and choose your materials accordingly. Because you're going to be sad if you make something, you spend all that time, and then the second day of the convention, it gets dirty. Whether because you accidentally got some makeup on it, or maybe you put it on the table at a restaurant and it wasn't quite clean, or even if just you went to the bathroom and the counter was wet. So pick your materials carefully so that you know that it's going to last. Satin's such a pain in the ass if you get it wet. You have to dry it immediately or it's going to stain. I imagine that goes for silk too. I haven't worked with silk. I'm too cheap. I am much too cheap to work with silk. And that same advice to look at your materials carefully, that also goes for everything else you're making for cosplay. You want to, like, you're not going to be using cotton for the entirety of your costume, regardless of whether you got, because cotton comes in tons of colors. It's going to have all the right colors you need, but it's not necessarily going to be the right material for what you're making. Like a cape or a cloak or a jacket, you're going to want something heavier than cotton for it to really look right. Although I know if you're in a hotter climate, say maybe California or Texas in the middle of summer, you can't always use something like wool or felt or fleece because you're going to die of heat stroke. So in those cases, again, consider carefully what your garment is meant to do and what environment you're going to be wearing it in. Because I don't want you to get heat stroke, but I want your cosplay to look the best it possibly can because I know that you're putting a ton of work into it. So, you gotta weigh your options. And definitely look up and see if there's a fabric warehouse store anywhere near you, because those places, they're hard to look through because it's generally just a pile of fabric, but you can find some great stuff cheap in those stores. Ooh, dang it. I missed the hole. And don't be afraid of stretchy fabrics. Stretchy fabrics can be amazing. Just keep in mind that you want to stretch the fabrics in all directions because some fabrics only stretch one way, while some also stretch both ways. Stretching both ways, you don't want to use that for a cape because it's gonna, like, the weight of it is gonna drag down and it's gonna end up all misshapen. So like when I did arm warmers, I wanted one-way stretch because I didn't want it to stretch this way, but I did want it to stretch around this way so I could bend my arm. But if you're making a bodysuit, you definitely want the one that stretches both ways because it's a bodysuit. Your body moves in all directions. You're going to need more than one direction to stretch. But jerseys can be awesome because they don't fray. I made a mist cloak from, if you don't know, Mistborn is the book by Brandon Sanderson, and they have these cloaks where it's like a bunch of ribbons all making up a cloak so that when the Mistborn were jumping through the mists, it hid them because it wasn't a solid shape. And I spent about a week cutting strips into jersey because it was cheaper than buying yards and yards and yards of ribbon, and it didn't fray. And it had a nice weight for a cloak because it's not light like cotton, but it's not super duper heavy like wool. But yeah, don't be afraid of stretchy fabrics. Just read your sewing machine manual and figure out what stitch you're supposed to be using. Because you're not going to use a straight stitch on stretchy fabric. It's not the right stitch. By the way, pro tip for stretchy fabric or vinyls and stuff, anything that gets pulled or in the machine. If you're using stretchy fabric in your machine with just a normal foot, there is a chance that as it's going through the machine, it'll get stretched out, and then your seam will be super long, and then everything will get pulled back into the normal size of the fabric. One thing you can do, one thing is you can get a plastic foot. That's really handy for vinyls and stuff, anything that's a little bit sticky. I have had trouble with my machine with the metal foot sticking to some of these vinyl materials. But one thing you can do for both vinyl and for stretchy fabric is get tissue paper, like the kind that you use to wrap presents. Wrap your seam in the tissue paper and sew over that, and that'll keep it from stretching. It works, I promise. Of course, then you have to tear all the tissue paper off, but at least your seam is going to be the right size. And you're not going to end up with a huge knot of thread somewhere because your machine got all locked up. Astrid, are you grumpy at Hiccup? Was he bothering you? Her ears are back. He tends to chew on her ears when he's trying to clean them. She doesn't appreciate it. By the way, if you're wondering what this is back here, this is a duct tape dress form that we made for my husband when we were working on his Kador armor. So if you can't afford a dress form, I know they can be pretty pricey, you can make your own custom dress form with using plastic wrap, duct tape, stuffing, and some PVC for a stand. There's a ton of tutorials on it. Just look up duct tape dress form. I recommend many layers of duct tape. Unfortunately for this one, we didn't use, it was our first time making a duct tape dummy, so we didn't use as many layers of duct tape as we should. Use a lot of layers of duct tape. It'll help the dress form hold its shape, because right now you can't see it, but the PVC we've got at the top, we just got like a knob at the top, so it's pushing through the duct tape. If you can, get like a T at the top, so it'll hold up better, so it's not all that weight concentrated on one point. And like I said, lots of layers of duct tape. But yeah, it was about one evening's work, and worth it, so that we were both able to work on it. Whereas before, he had to stand there and I worked around him. That was frustrating for both of us because I maybe needed a third hand and he couldn't help me, and he had to stand still for a very long time and just really didn't want to. And again, there's tons of tutorials online for how to do it. It's super simple. And let's see if I can manage this without overdoing it on the thread this time. By the way, if you're wondering why I have lace over some of these pieces and not others, it's because I'm using the lace to kind of emulate the texture of frosting. I thought it was a clever idea. Okay, one more to go on this one. And then we either move on to the dark bits or the light bits on the second piece. Crafting is not always exciting, I'm sorry. And again, if you guys have any questions about cosplay in general, or maybe something specific you're working on, or even what I'm working on right now, please do feel free to ask. I am more than happy to answer. By the way, if you're worried about poking a hole through something but you're not ready to, if you just kind of like gently poke at it, you can see where the needle is going to come through. So don't just stab it and hope for the best. Be gentle and you'll see if you're in the right spot. Although if you're like an amazing person who can get it in the first try every time, good for you. I am jealous of your skill. That is a useful superpower. As long as you want to be able to sell. Puppies, be good. Good babies. Good babies. 7 will now growl for the next 10 minutes because she's not allowed to bark. And because she is sleepy and does not have the energy to bark unless someone really makes it worth her while. Oh, 7, you're my little grumbly girl. Dang it. The thread keeps coming out. Alright, I'm gonna cut it. The end got all frayed and now I can't get it back through the needle. Maybe I can get it back through the needle. There we go. We're good. We're good. There we go. Let's see. Oh man, it's 3 o'clock already. Okay, let me finish this up. And then we'll see what I want to do. So again, what I'm doing right now is I'm going over the holes that my sewing machine made by hand because vinyl does not heal. So those holes that the machine made from the seams that I took out earlier, they're never going to go away. So for the bits that are going to be visible on the final purse, I'm just filling in those detail lines by hand now. Because if this was something I was doing in a pinch and I just didn't have time to do this and I needed it for a costume, I would probably just take a little bit of puffy paint in the right colors and fill it in, but that's a quick fix. That's not something I want in a final product for something that I want to put up in the store and try to sell online. So I'm making this right. I'm doing these detail lines. And on the next one, I'll know to just put these lines in with the machine. I won't have to do it by hand because I won't have to tear it apart first to undo something that I did a year ago that didn't work. And what I am trying to make is version 3 of my cake purse. This was version 1. It's like satin or taffeta, and version 2 is downstairs that was also out of this same vinyl. So for version 3, I'm trying to figure out how to make it faster and better. But first I had to undo everything I did the last time I attempted to make it faster and better, because last time it didn't work. But I've got a good idea this time. I do, I think, I hope. We'll see. Won't know until we try it. Okay. Seriously? There it is. Lost the needle. Alright, I guess the last thing I'm going to do is the detail seams on these dark bits here, and then I will likely be done for today, because I need food and my foot is falling asleep. Now, again, I've got like 3 different shades of dark brown that are close, but not quite the same. All right, they're looking at them side by side. They're not really that close, but now I have to compare this and see which one's the right one. And I think it's the one I've got the least of. Yep, it totally is. And I don't even have an existing bobbin in that color. So I think I'm going to have to move on to a slightly lighter chocolate color. And just make do. This is why I typically buy more than one spool in a single color of thread. Unfortunately, it's just not working out for me right now. So this brown it is. And there it goes. Let me think. Yeah, this one's too dark. I don't know what I use this one for, but this one's much too dark. You're not always going to find the right color of thread, which is how you end up with 3 different spools of a similar color, because you never know which one's going to look right at the time. And sometimes you just don't want to be there in Joann's any longer. You just want to leave. You buy all the thread and go home and pick there. That's what I did. I'm assuming, because I have 3 or 4 different colors of nearly the same thread. I can think of no other reason why I have so many colors of nearly the same thread. It's not like I've used brown all that often, although, no, Isa, she had a lot, she had some brown. Maybe it was then, maybe that's how I ended up with all these different colors. Although it was the same vinyl, so I don't know. I really don't know. Okay. So same thing as before, made slightly more difficult by the lace getting in the way. But we'll manage. cow. Even though it's less of a big deal if I accidentally make another hole in this portion of the vinyl, I still don't want to do it. What the hell happened here? What? Alright. Guys, there's a big knot in my thread. Oh, how did this happen? I don't know how this happened. No, it just keeps tightening. The knot just keeps tightening. Surface, stop turning off. All right. I think now I've just tightened the knot in a different direction. Oh no. Oh no. Did I do it? Did I do it? Nearly. Nearly done it. It was 2 knots. It was 2 knots in the thread. Oh, come now. I don't want a knot here right now. Although this is the back thread, so let's just pull it tight. Oh no, that was the front thread. Well, it might not show up. Fingers crossed. God damn it. I dropped the needle again. One bonus of working in this room, though, is that there's no carpet, so I can hear when the needle falls. As opposed to just having to guess if the needle hit the ground, and then trying to find a needle in very dark carpet. Unfortunately for us, our carpet is teal because whoever we bought it from decided that would be a good carpet to put in the house, and it was brand new when we got it. So we didn't replace it, and now we have teal carpet. Although you know what's extra funny? We have a friend who had the same color carpet in their house when they bought it. So I'm just wondering, like, maybe it was on super sale or something, and people just decided, yes, teal, wonderful, everyone's going to love teal carpet. One bonus is that it doesn't show stains. Unfortunately, I have a great white cat. She is great, and she is white, and she sheds like nobody's business. And teal carpet does not hide white fur. I got used to it though. You know, the first few weeks in the house, it was just like, it's teal. Why is the carpet teal? It's like a swimming pool or something. And then several years down the line, you're just like, oh, right. That's not a normal color carpet, is it? I forgot. This goes to show you people can get used to a lot of things. Fortunately, the lace is proving less, oh, excuse me, to be less of an obstacle than I feared. Alrighty. The knot is getting in the way. Everything looks pretty good. So one thing I forgot to do, because I just didn't think about it, you want to make sure that you're looping your thread, you're looping your needle around the base thread the same way every time, because it can alter the way the thread sits on the top where it's visible. So if you do find yourself in the sad situation where you have to emulate a machine stitch by hand, just keep that in mind. Always loop the thread around the same side. So don't go switching, we're now looping this way, next time I'm looping that way, next time I'm looping that way, because you're going to end up with an uneven stitch, especially if you're using a thicker thread. All right, one more. We're just going to do one more, you guys. Thank you so much for keeping me company during all this. I do appreciate it. And I hope that my weird setup has been okay. Hopefully we'll be able to get a wireless card for other computers soon, and also hopefully it'll be able to handle XSplit no problem. Seven, Shanks, be good. Well, it sounds like she's barking at someone off the deck, probably. I think she's done. Nope, not done. I just don't feel like going downstairs and punishing her right now. I know what we do for punishment. She gets a timeout. She gets a little timeout if she barks at nothing. Because she's just a high-strung little girl that thinks she has to keep us all safe. And I appreciate that. I do. But I do wish she would learn not to bark at the dogs that pass by the house every single day. Because it's always the same dogs. And typically it's at the same times. But she's a corgi. They bark at anything new. You kind of just have to get used to that. There we go. Found it. Oh, looks like I've got a hole in my lace over here. That's a bummer. Yeah, the only thing I wasn't able to change is that the lace is delicate and it can tear. There's nothing you can really do to fix it when that happens. That's kind of why my dream is to one day make this in leather so that I can stamp the frosting design into it. I think it would be amazing. But again, I'm nervous about trying to work with leather the first time. And I don't want to try too many new things at once, and right now my new thing is the airbrush. And it's giving me enough trouble as it is. So maybe later this year or maybe next year I'll try tackling leather. We'll see. But I do want to try it at some point. But I think that I want to take an actual leather class. I don't think I want to just go to the school of YouTube for that. Learning hands-on with people to ask questions, I think that might be better for me. Of course, I have learned a lot from the school of YouTube. That's how we learned how to make foam armor. That's where I learned the theory behind how to use an airbrush. I think the problem in practice is just my lack of patience and experience. Babies, be good. 7 Shanks, be careful. Good puppies. Seven Shanks, come. Babies. No, nobody wants cookies? I guess nobody wants cookies. I'll put those back there. Yeah, I think the dogs are ready for me to be done, you guys. I think that they have been as patient as their little puppy hearts can be. And now I need to go cuddle with them. Just one more stitch to do here. All right. There we go. Okay, you guys. I don't know if you can see it at all, but I got my detail stitches in right along there and there. And we spent about an hour and a half undoing all the seams that I put in the last time I worked on this a year ago. I will be back with another Good Crafternoon on Tuesday, same time, 1 o'clock. We'll be working on the cake purse some more, but hopefully a bit farther along. I'll try to get all of this hand sewing, well, this hand sewing done before then. I've got some more different hand sewing to do later. But yeah, I'll be streaming again tonight at 7 o'clock. We're going to play some Gigantic for our Friday Night Hedgehog Hangout. If you want to join me, please let me know. I want you to play with me. You can let me know on Twitter. You can whisper me here on Twitch, or I do have a Discord server set up. There's a link down below. You can also find my Twitter information down below as well. Yeah, and if you don't have Gigantic yet, but you want to check it out, you can go sign up at gogigantic.com. Or you can check out a bunch of the other streamers. I know Motiga, they make Gigantic. They do have their own stream. It's probably Go Gigantic. And a lot of the streamers right now do have keys to give out as well, so check them out. It's a really great game. I will also, be back Sunday at 6 for the next cosplay hunt, where we're going to take a look at a new game. I don't know which one yet. If you have any requests, let me know. We're going to take a look at a game, we're going to play for a little bit, and then we're going to do some sketching and figure out all the different ways we can cosplay. I need to adjust my camera. There we go. It's bothering me the way I was cut off. And I'll be back again on Monday and Tuesday at 7 for Because It's Pretty and Gigantic cosplay respectively. Yeah, I hope you guys had a good crafternoon. I know I did. Again, I'm Heavenly Hedgehog, and I will see you guys later. Bye.